Jesus' birthday by going to my grandparents' house and praising him by praying and singing songs to him.
Christmas in Honduras is about Jesus Christ, about the moment that Jesus Christ was born. We follow the tradition that Jesus was born on December 24th at midnight.
At that moment, someone in the family, the father, comes and takes the baby Jesus and put it between Mary and Joseph in the manger.
And everybody gathered around that manger, celebrating the birthday of Jesus Christ. That's the moment when the Christmas really starts. And everybody hugs each other, kiss each other, and everybody will go to the street and look for the neighbors, enter the other houses and hug each other and wish Merry Christmas.
Yes. In Christmas time is because it's a celebration, everybody is wearing a new brand clothes and visiting friends and neighbors and families, and also the firecrackers are on the streets making the noise to show that we are in the celebration of the baby Jesus is born.
Yeah, the firecrackers go all night long, but at that moment you will really know that it's midnight, because will be a boom all around the city. After all the hugging and kissing, everybody gathers around the table because it's the dinner time, the Christmas dinner time. It's a very late dinner, and everybody sits around and enjoy all the food. And that night, in every home will be food. Even people will make sure that their neighbors, even the most poor of the neighbor, they will have something to eat. They will make tamales. And share with all the families around. And the 25th is a holiday, but everybody use that holiday not to stay at home. And most of the people in La Ceiba will go to the beach and enjoy this sunny, shiny day. And it's wonderful to be there with all the families, enjoying each other's company.
Yes, but people in Honduras, in the part of Honduras there is no beach. Also, they go to the river because always is a sunny day for enjoying the hot weather in Honduras.
We want to wish you a Merry Christmas.
Les deseamos una feliz Navidad.
Greetings from Ron and Joan Stoller in Japan. We've been church planting missionaries in Japan for 20 years. Before that, in other ministries here in Japan. My wife was raised in Japan. I came to Japan 40 years ago, and we've been working here, sharing God's Word and the good story of Christmas with people here in Japan for these many years. We worked with Bob Joy a number of years ago, and it's great to be able to send our greetings to your church. Thank you, Pam, for sending these questions to us that we are reflecting now in this video message to you. Here in Japan, as you know, there are many gods, and they have added the Christmas god to their list of gods, and we say, no, you just can't add another god to your list. Christ is the one and only God, and we are. It's a joy for us to be able to share this Christmas story with the Japanese people here. Naturally, speak well about Christmas in our English classes. In our Bible classes, we present the Christmas message in different ways, various ways to help them understand. Even the other night, I taught a Bible study, and the man had never heard the story of the wise men. So there are many people here in this country, culture, that have never heard the Christmas message before.
As for unique family traditions, we have a bunch that are fun, but one thing that would probably enhance it would be this sugar church that I make every year. I make it out of frosting. I draw each of the pieces and dry them for a week, and then I assemble them. I got it out of an American magazine. Actually, my mother got it out of a magazine, so it's a tradition that we've had. but I make it every year, and I have this as the centerpiece of our table. It helped our children know that Christmas wasn't about Santa Claus and about presents, but Christmas was about church, and it was about letting people know the real meaning of Christmas in places like church, and not only at home, and not only with family.
Yesterday we had people come into our home and to look around the church that Joan has made, to the decorations that we have, the live Christmas tree that we have. We have so many things to celebrate life, and people in this country of darkness and death need to see the celebration of life, and that's why we are here to celebrate Christmas in Japan, to bring Christ into this celebration of Christmas.
I celebrate Christmas by first we go to a concert. The next day we go to church, and then there we sing songs. Then we go to a play that's like celebrating God's birth or Jesus' birth, and then we go to my aunt's house and play Secret Friend, and we say why this special is important to us and why we're thankful that God made it.
My name is Jack Stockdale, and in 2002 my wife Joan and I, with our kids, moved to Poland to be involved in church planting and in spreading the gospel. And over the 10 years that we were there, got to experience a lot of fascinating culture, of course including the Christmas traditions of the Poles. Now for Polish children, an important day is December the 6th. This is the feast day of St. Nicholas, and on that day, the person that Poles refer to as Mikołaj, he visits children and he distributes gifts to them. But without doubt, on the calendar of Polish people and the minds of Poles, the most important day of the year is December the 24th. And what all Poles look forward to is the evening celebration, which they call Wigilia. And in this word Wigilia, we can hear the word vigil. And it's a nighttime celebration in which they commemorate the night that Christ was born. Now, there are a number of traditions that are connected with this Wigilia celebration. One is that the actual celebration commences with the appearing of the first evening star. So 24th of December, it's getting dark in Poland at 3:30 in the afternoon, 4 o'clock. By 4:30, 5 o'clock, it's pretty dark, and provided there aren't clouds, that first star is seen, and the family gathers around the Wigilia table, in which a 12-course meal is served. Now, it's a meatless meal, and of course, Catholics generally do not view fish as being meat, and so many of the 12 dishes happen to be fish dishes. 12 because there were 12 apostles. And the most important of the fish dishes is carp. And having lived in Poland for those 10 years, I talked to a number of Poles about their culture, about their traditions, and I asked a number of them whether they liked carp. And I think I only ever talked to one guy who said, yeah, I like carp. And we might think, well, why would people ever eat it if they don't really like it? And the answer is simply, this is their tradition. So they have these fish dishes, they eat carp, they will go into the markets the days preceding the 24th of December, and there will be large tanks of live carp swimming around, and the buyer will have the worker dip the net down and pick out 2 or 3 of these big carp, and the buyer will pick the one he wants and he'll take it home. In some cases he'll put it in the bathtub and let it swim around and then kill it on Christmas Eve. Another tradition is that at the meal they leave an empty chair and an empty place sitting in the event that a wanderer appears at the door. Of course, the Holy Family was without a place, and there was no room for them in the inn, and they found a place in a stable. And so they want to be welcoming to any stranger who just might happen to come by at Vigilia time. Another tradition is that under the tablecloth is some straw, which commemorates the fact that Jesus was born and placed in a manger. Again, he had a humble beginning. Probably the celebration, the tradition that we appreciated the most was what is called Opłatek. And Opłatek is a wafer made of flour and water that is virtually identical to the communion wafers, which are used in the Catholic Masses. And what happens is that as the family gathers, the first evening star is seen, the family will gather around the table, and the mother and the father will take a Opłatek, a wafer, and they will break it, and they will exchange blessings, and they will just wish for one another health and joy and happiness and good things to come to them in the coming year. Then each will turn and share with one of the children, and so it will go down through the family, each person expressing to the others some kind of affections, some kind of well-wishing. And we had a number of experiences, very, very positive and blessed experiences, where we gathered with some true born-again believers, where they did the Opłatek tradition, in which we had opportunity to really just break this wafer with another person, look them in the eye, tell them how much you love them, what they've meant in your life in the last year, how God has used them in your life, and just that you desire for them blessing and good things. And it was such an affirming and encouraging experience. We hope to continue something similar in our family here in the U.S.